Welcome back to TechFlik. My case finally arrived, and this case shall be the new case for my home theater PC. Let's continue on this journey, shall we? On this second episode of building a home theater PC series, we are gonna unbuild my 7-year-old PC and rebuild it into this new small case. So my old 7-year-old PC is from Cooler Master, and coincidentally, the new case is also from Cooler Master. So, older big brother, meet your new little brother. Alright, so you can see why I've chosen this case for a home theater PC. It's such a small, compact case. I'm planning to put it beside my TV console, so here's a comparison with the old case and now the new case. I'm guessing it's about 30 to 40% smaller in size, and it looks great in the living room. Alright, we are going to transfer all that PC components into the new case, but first we will have to unbuild the old PC. We are very familiar on how to build a PC, but we rarely unbuild a PC. So I'm gonna go through briefly on the steps that I took. It's basically just a reverse process of building a PC. Now, for the first step that I took was to remove all the cables connected to your motherboard. I try to be really gentle when removing them and try not to force it. If it's really tight, I give it a bit of a wiggle from side to side and gently pull the cables out. You also have cables from your case that are connected to the motherboard, like the USB 3.0 cable, HD audio, that small cable for your power switch and LED. Oh, and also cables connecting to your hard drive or SSD. Alright, so the second step I took was to remove the back panel and separate the cables. So what I did was to separate the power supply cables from my case cables. Basically, in my case, all the cables are entangled and I just have to untangle them and put the power supply cable on one side and the case cable on the other side. And if you have any cables that are not connected, like your SATA cable, just remove and put them aside. Don't lose them as you will need them for the new case. Next, once all the cables are separated, I decided to unscrew and remove the power supply first. This is to avoid all the cable mess and clutter. In step 4, at this stage, if you have a graphics card or an AIO cooler connected to the motherboard, you will want to remove them first. I do not have any graphics card or an AIO cooler in this build, so in this step, we are going to unscrew and remove the motherboard straight. However, it is not necessary to remove the CPU cooler and the RAM. They can remain in place. To remove them, I hold one side of the motherboard and grab the CPU cooler with my other hand and gently lift them up. Oh, and also don't forget the IO shield. You will need that in the new case. Next, you might want to reuse your case fans. The Cooler Master Q500L case only comes with 120mm fans, so I decided to reuse all the old case fans. I had to strip the case apart and remove all the fans on it. I was surprised to see that there are actually two 140mm fans, one situated at the top and the other at the front, and there is also a 120mm fan at the rear, which I will also be reusing. So this gives me 3 extra fans to reuse, just nice for the case. So that's it. With just a few steps, we are able to take all the components out. Overall, I feel it was kinda easy to unbuild a PC rather than build it. And now with all the components out, you could just rebuild them straight into the new case. But wait a second, look at this. All 3 fans are really dusty. The IO shield and the SSD is still in very good condition. However, as you can see here, the motherboard is pretty dusty. There is some dust buildup on the PCIe slots. Same goes for the CPU cooler. You have dust in between the fins and also the fans in the power supply. But for a 7-year-old PC, I feel that the dust buildup is not too bad. I thought, why not give them a good clean before we rebuild it? And so I did.
A few moments later.
Alright, so we are done cleaning. In the end, I took out the RAM and the CPU cooler and had them cleaned too. I also removed the thermal paste on the CPU and the CPU cooler, so we can reapply a fresh layer of thermal paste on it. Now that all the components are clean, here comes the exciting part. Let's build this PC. the build is complete. So let's see if it boots. And yes, it did boot up to the desktop. Great job! Now, if you are curious on what's on the screen, this is a software called Kodi. It's an amazing piece of software that turns your PC into a media center. And we will be going through more on what Kodi is and what it can do and how to install Kodi in the next episode. But for now, let's check the BIOS and see if everything is installed properly. Alright, so now we are in the BIOS. We have our processor, the i5 3570, running at 3.4 GHz. That's good. It also detects our 8GB RAM, which is the 2x4GB RAM sticks, running at 1600 MHz. The fans also show 3 fans connected. I only have the CPU cooler fans connected, the front and also the rear fans connected. The 2 top fans are not connected to the motherboard but connected directly to the power supply through a fan splitter. That's why it's only showing as 3 fans connected. Our CPU temperature seems normal for an idle state. So before this, I think the temperature was around 40 degrees Celsius at idle state, and now it's around 37 degrees Celsius. So that's great. That means we shave off at least 3 degrees Celsius, and that's partly due to the cleaning and also the reapplication of the thermal paste. And it detects our 128GB SSD as a boot priority. So yeah, BIOS looks good, which means the rebuild of this PC is a success. That's it guys for this episode. In episode 3, we will be checking Kodi out and I'll go through how you can install it and turn your PC into a home theater PC. If you find this useful or if you have any questions, do leave a comment down below. I will try to reply all the comments. As always, if you like what you see, click the like button. If you love what you see, subscribe for more future tech stuff. Until then, stay home, stay safe, stay healthy. This is TechFlik, signing out.